Did you know that the French word for bay, cove or bight, Anse, features prominently in place names in St. Lucia? While the most common is ancillary, being the name of the village built at the bay, the names of the majority of St. Lucia's bays start with Anse. These include Anse Rochor, Anse Jambette, Anse Mahot, Anse Louvette, Anse Cowette, Anse Relais, Anse Gers, Anse des Sables, Anse Chassenay. Well, you get the picture. Notable expressions are Rodney Bay and Marigot Bay. Hi, I'm Gina McPhee, and this is BayCalls. Welcome to another episode of BayCalls, an inside look into one of the most important facets of our country's development, our ports, and the organization which manages them, SLASPA. On today's show, we look at St. Lucia's smaller ports of entry and their contribution to the St. Lucian economy. This contribution cannot go unnoticed, as it is evident in key industries such as tourism. The island's bays are managed by SLASPA's Marine Department, whose role is influential to the effective management of seaborne traffic. The St. Lucia Division of Maritime Affairs was established in 2000 following an amendment to the SLASPA Act No. 10 of 1983 and the Shipping Act No. 11 of 1994. The port officer is key to the smooth operations of our bays as the port of entry. Let's hear from one of our port officers as he describes his role.
Well, the small bays attract a lot of yachters. The yachters in particular want a quiet space. They want somewhere that they could visit and basically rest their heads at night, and somewhere from which they could go and travel and visit the rest of the important spots, the nice touristic spots as well as the local spots in St. Lucia. They don't want to do it in a place that's too crowded. They don't want to do it in a place where you have super structures visiting. They want a nice, quiet, calm place, and that is what the bays provide. At the marina, our role is kind of multifaceted. So we have to look at the safety of life at sea. So we look at the boats, we look at the yachts, we look at the waters, in particular the persons coming in, and we help maintain that flow, working with the various other agencies, customs, immigration, port health, and we work alongside them to ensure that everything is okay as per the laws of St. Lucia, in particular the SLASPA Act and the Shipping Act. As per the laws of St. Lucia, especially the tariff in particular, the tariff laws, we collect monies from the yachties, which will help maintain lots of things at the base. I mean, we have the lights that most persons would see it as just a blinking light, but these things are so important to navigation, and we need to maintain them. So this is what the fees in particular get towards the navigational aids, to ensure that we have the manpower and the port police vessels to patrol the area, make sure that everyone is safe. We need to put particular things in place. We need the various agencies to work alongside us. If the ports are not secured and if the area is not safe, if boats and other users of the marina do not pay particular attention to the laws, then we'll have a marina that's basically in chaos, and no one wants to come to a place that's in chaos. So we have to maintain the good structure and the good form so people be attracted to this place.
We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we look at some of the more popular bays in St. Lucia and their importance in port operations. Welcome back to BayCalls. If you're just joining us, today we're looking at St. Lucia's smaller bays and ports of entry and their contribution to the economy. Apart from the main seaports of entry at Castries and Vieux-Fort, St. Lucia has a number of smaller bays which accommodate smaller vessels, including fishing boats, ferries, and various classes of yachts. The most notable of these are Soufrière, Marigot Bay, and Rodney Bay. Two of these bays also include a marina. We have been mentioning the term since we started, but what exactly is a bay and what is a marina? Let's break them down as we continue. Let's hear from the Chief Pilot in the Marine Division.
As far as the SLASPA Act is concerned, we're dealing with bays. A marina is a private entity. So if you look at Rodney Bay Marina, for example, that is a private entity owned by a company. But the Rodney Bay area and the port of Rodney Bay encompasses a large area from Pigeon Island going down to the point just south of Truya Beach. That entire area is considered Rodney Bay, whereas the marina is the lagoon which goes to the inner part of the bay. SLASPA as an entity began with Port Vieux-Fort and Port Castries. And then in the government's wisdom, they realized that these other ports of entry, meaning Rodney Bay, Marigot Bay, and Soufrière, needed a body to regulate them. So they were given to SLASPA, and SLASPA then had the authority to enforce its act within those bays, and that gave it a strong regulatory role. So we had a structure for regulating the seabed already, and it was given to SLASPA to do. But what that meant was that for SLASPA, it was a departure from what the organization was envisioned for. Not a far departure, but it was something that placed us in a role that was different from what the organization was really created to do, which is to manage ports of entry, but more in a hands-on sort of way. But it was good, because what it meant was that SLASPA learned to put in a framework to allow other entities to have roles within these areas.
How important are these bays to tourism, shipping, and transportation?
My main role as the maritime officer is to assist in the development of marketing plans and strategies for the maritime niche. I must say that bays and marinas are important to St. Lucia's tourism product as they contribute significantly to the cruise and yachting sector. In enticing our yachties to St. Lucia, we note the importance of the economic impact, not just within the marinas, but with accommodation and when they step out and about and explore our sites and attractions. I believe St. Lucia's geographic location makes it very accessible for ferries and yachts and cruise ships to come to the destination. Our bays and marinas offer state-of-the-art service, and we often create ways to improve our product offerings. St. Lucia is also known globally for its prestigious maritime offerings, and it is certainly one of the main reasons why for nearly 3 decades we are the home to the Arc, Arc Plus, and World Arc races.
We'll take another break now. More port calls after the break.
When packing your carry-on bag, keep in mind the 311 liquids rule. Liquids, gels, aerosols, creams and pastes should not exceed 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters per container. This includes items such as toothpaste, gel deodorants, shampoos, lotions, and similar personal care items. Consumables like bottled water, peanut butter, and jams must also comply with the rule. All liquids must fit into one quart-sized clear plastic zip-top bag, and only one bag is allowed per customer. That's 311. There are some exceptions if you have special needs or children. You may bring prescription and over-the-counter medicines, baby formula, breast milk, juice, and other essential liquids in quantities larger than 3.4 ounces. Please present these items to security officers at the checkpoint because they may require alternative screening. For more information on Travel 311, go to slasper.com. This message brought to you by the Airline Operators Committee of St. Lucia.
Welcome back to Podcast. We're looking at St. Lucia's bays and marinas. So far, we've looked at the operations of these bays and their contribution to the economy. Control of the island's marinas and bays involves a strategic relationship between SLASPA, by way of a port officer, the Customs and Excise Department, and the Immigrations Department. Let's speak with some of the key players in this relationship.
Okay, Customs is strategically located at all points of entry. And the purpose for that is that as vessels do come into these approved ports, we're able to process them and capture information pertaining to their last port, and of course the intention during their time in St. Lucia. We also process them as they may decide to go coastwise to Soufrière, some of the other bays, that that we give them permission to do so through a written permit to moor. Well, it's very important. We make ourselves, we at all points of entry, which includes Soufrière, Marigot Bay, we at Rodney Bay, and of course we have at the main ports, which is in Vieux-Fort and in Castries. And we are open here 7 days a week to ensure that we are available for all incoming vessels.
The yachting sector to the tourism product of St. Lucia, I think, is underestimated for what the potential there is to be. One thing about the yachting sector is its contribution to St. Lucia there's no vertical integration. So it's at ground roots level, it's at grassroots level, if you want to say that, because the nature of a yachtsman or a yachtswoman tends to be a little bit more adventurous. And so today, for example, they will jump into your taxi and have lunch or dinner at, say, your mom's house or your dad's restaurant or something. Tomorrow it'll be my taxi, and the day after it'll be somebody else's. So the money that they spend is a tremendous boost to the economy. IGY is very proud to be part of that, and in helping the development of it, especially when you have events such as the ARC that have now expanded from not just the original ARC event, but you now have the World ARC and ARC Plus. The management of the facility, as you could well imagine, is obviously made up of many parts. Some of them include the public sector, for customs, immigration, some of them the private sector. We as IGY Rodney Bay Marina is one of the few marinas that we own, manage and operate this marina. So from the standpoint of myself and the team here, obviously it's to enhance the facility in terms of the amenities that are here, and the services that are offered to the vessels when they arrive here in St. Lucia to Rodney Bay Marina. What makes Rodney Bay Marina very attractive, obviously, is the easy accessibility of these amenities, along with the security and safety of the facility itself. A lot of guests can come here, clear into customs and immigration, which are on compound, get their sails repaired, their engines repaired, the duty-free chandlery of Island Waterworld, and then all the other amenities of the restaurants and bars down below. Makes them feel at home. These are the services and the amenities that they would like to get back home, and having it really at the fingertips, 50, 100 yards from their boat, makes it an attractive marina.
The tourism industry for boaters is increasing every year. We still have the ARC race, which survives in St. Lucia every year. It comes to Rodney Bay Marina. This brings a lot of business to the hotels on the island, the restaurants on the island, supermarket shops. Everybody has influences and benefits from the income of the boating fraternity. There's more and more tourism coming to the island, especially by boats, every year at the moment. The more facilities that we have in these bays and marinas for the guests, the more appealing St. Lucia becomes to the guests. And SLASPA plays a big part in ensuring that the bays are kept to safe standards and vessels are of a similar standard of expectation. Well, SLASPA's role is to ensure the safety of the guests once inside these bays and marinas and within the St. Lucia local waters. Once arriving to St. Lucia, guests will radio in and make them vessels aware that they're arriving in local waters. SLASPA's part is to ensure the safety of the guests on board the vessels and make sure that the vessels and the marinas and bays are the standard of safety expected by our guests.
We'll take another break now. When we come back, we wrap up for today.
When packing your carry-on bag, keep in mind the 311 liquids rule. Liquids, gels, aerosols, creams and pastes should not exceed 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters per container. This includes items such as toothpaste, gel deodorants, shampoos, lotions, and similar personal care items. Consumables like bottled water, peanut butter, and jams must also comply with the rule. All liquids must fit into one quart-sized clear plastic zip-top bag, and only one bag is allowed per customer. That's 311. There are some exceptions if you have special needs or children. You may bring prescription and over-the-counter medicines, baby formula, breast milk, juice, and other essential liquids in quantities larger than 3.4 ounces. Please present these items to security officers at the checkpoint because they may require alternative screening. For more information on Travel 311, go to slasper.com. This message brought to you by the Airline Operators Committee of St. Lucia.
Welcome back to BayCalls. As we close, let's look at some of the key information for users of the bays and marinas. These include documents, fees, and the classes of vessels allowed in the bays. As we close another episode of BayCalls, the management of our main ports and the smaller bays and marinas involves strategic collaborations and relationships with both internal and external parties, including the Maritime Division, the Shipping and Operations Department, cruise and cargo lines and agencies, port officers, the Customs and Excise and Immigrations Departments, marina management, boat captains, and our customers themselves. These activities include supervision and vessel inspections, recording passenger embarkation and disembarkation, processing vessel information, and revenue collection. The contribution of the island's marinas cannot go unnoticed, as it is evident in key industries such as tourism. The bays, along with the island's major points of entry, attract foreign exchange, and this further impacts the nation's economy. SLASPA will keep doing our best to spearhead all navigational matters to facilitate the safe and expeditious movement of vessels for both passenger and cargo at our main ports of entry and the smaller bays, as we continue to connect people, partners, and the world. See you next time on BayCalls.
For the first one there, Mark.